Stop. Don't scroll. This is important. If you are watching this right now, then there is something you need to understand. Someone is about to contact you, not randomly, not by chance, but for a reason. And the strange thing is, a part of you already knows this. You may not be fully aware of it, but deep inside, you can feel it. For the past few days, maybe even longer, you have been thinking about someone, not constantly, not all the time, but often enough. They appear in your mind suddenly, in quiet moments, when you are alone, when everything around you becomes silent, and you are left with your thoughts. And in those moments, their face appears, their voice, their presence, memories, old conversations, things that were said, and things that were never said. And every time it happens, you feel something you cannot fully explain. Sometimes it feels like curiosity, sometimes it feels like confusion, and sometimes it feels like something unfinished, like something between you and that person was never truly closed, like there is a chapter in your life that ended, but not completely. You may have tried to move on. You may have tried to forget. You may have told yourself that it is over. But deep inside, something never fully let go. And now, that feeling is returning again, stronger than before, clearer than before, more noticeable than before. And you might be asking yourself, why now? Why this person again? Why these thoughts? Why this feeling? But listen carefully, this is not random, this is not just your imagination. Because while you are thinking about them, they are also thinking about you. Maybe not in the exact same way, maybe not in the exact same moment, but there is something, a connection, a silent connection, that was never completely broken. And now, something is shifting, something is changing, something is bringing that connection back to the surface. And that is why this message reached you today, because something is about to happen. You may receive a message, a call, a notification, or even something unexpected. But when it happens, you will feel it. You will recognize it, because a part of you was already expecting it. But here's the important part. This is not just about them. This is about you. This is about your awareness, your growth, your understanding. Because sometimes people come back into your life, not to stay, but to show you something, to help you understand something, to remind you of something. And if you are not aware, you might repeat the same pattern again. You might react the same way again. You might fall into the same cycle again. But this time, you are different. This time, you are more aware. This time, you understand more. And that is why this moment matters. Because what happens next depends on how you respond. Not just how you feel, not just what you want, but how you respond. Because your response will define everything. So when that person contacts you, don't rush. Don't react immediately. Don't let old emotions take control. Pause. Take a breath. Observe what you feel. Observe what you think. Observe what is happening inside you. Because this is a moment of awareness. A moment where you can choose. Choose to react the same way. Or choose to respond differently. And that choice is everything. Because for a long time, you were reacting based on emotions, reacting based on attachment, reacting based on habits. But now, you have the chance to respond with awareness, to respond with clarity, to respond as someone who has grown, And that is what makes this moment important. This is not just about someone contacting you. This is about who you have become. This is about how much you have changed. This is about whether you are still the same person or someone new, and deep down, you already know you are not the same anymore. You have changed. You have learned. You have experienced things that made you stronger, that made you more aware, that made you understand things differently, and now you are ready to see things clearly, ready to understand what this moment truly means, ready to move forward, but only if you stay aware, only if you don't rush, only if you don't let old patterns control you, because this moment is not random. This moment is a test, not from that person, but from life itself, a test of your awareness, a test of your growth, a test of your ability to respond differently. And when that moment comes, you will feel it, you will understand it, and you will remember that you were already told that something was about to happen. And now, it is happening. There is a reason why this person is coming back into your life now. Not before, not earlier, but now. And to understand that, you need to slow down. You need to look deeper, because this is not just about them contacting you. This is about something much bigger, something that has been building for a long time. For a long time, you have been changing, even if you didn't notice it, even if it didn't feel like it. You were growing through pain, through confusion, through silence. Every moment you felt lost, every moment you felt unsure, every moment you felt like nothing was happening. Something was happening inside you. You were becoming more aware, more understanding, more real. And now, you are not the same person anymore. You don't think the same way. You don't feel the same way. You don't react the same way. And that is exactly why this moment is happening now. Because if this person had come back before, you would have reacted differently. You would have felt differently. You would have made the same choices again. But now, you are different. Now, you are ready to see things clearly, ready to understand what this really means. Because sometimes, people don't come back to stay. They come back to reveal something, to show you something, to help you understand something about yourself. And this time, you are not here to repeat the same story. You are here to understand it, to see it clearly, to finally close it, or to move forward in a different way. And that is why this moment matters. This is not just a random contact. This is a moment of awareness, a moment where you can see everything clearly, without emotions controlling you, without attachment blinding you, without fear influencing your decisions. And that is powerful, because for a long time, you were not seeing things clearly. You were reacting based on emotions, based on memories, based on what you felt. But now, you are aware of your patterns, aware of your emotions, aware of your reactions, and that awareness gives you power, the power to choose, the power to respond differently, the power to break the cycle, because this is what this moment really is, a chance to do things differently, a chance to respond in a new way, a chance to show yourself that you have grown, and growth is not just about learning. It is about applying what you have learned. And now, you have the chance to apply it. So when that message comes, when that call happens, when that moment arrives, don't rush, don't react immediately. Don't let your past take control. Pause, breathe, and observe. Observe how you feel. Observe what you think. Observe what this moment means to you, because this moment is showing you something important, something that you need to understand, and if you are aware, you will see it clearly, but if you are not, you might miss it. You might fall back into the same pattern. You might repeat the same cycle, and that is what you need to avoid, because you are not the same anymore. You have changed. You have grown. You have become more aware. And now, you have the chance to prove it, not to anyone else, but to yourself. This is your moment to respond differently, your moment to choose awareness over reaction, your moment to move forward. And when you do, you will feel it. You will feel the difference. You will feel the shift. You will feel that something inside you has truly changed. There comes a moment when everything becomes clear, not suddenly, not all at once, but slowly, quietly. You begin to understand why this person is coming back into your life now, and it is not what you think. It is not just about them. It is about you. For a long time, you were attached to the idea of them, to the memories, to the feelings, to what you thought it could have been. You held on to it, even when it was no longer present, even when it no longer existed the same way. And that attachment kept something inside you open, something unfinished, something that needed closure. And now, this moment is here, not to confuse you, not to pull you back, but to show you something clearly, to show you how much you have changed, to show you how much you have grown, because this time you will not feel the same way. You will not react the same way. You will not see things the same way, and that is where everything changes. Before, you were reacting from emotion. You were reacting from attachment. You were reacting from habit. But now, you are aware of what you feel, aware of what is real, aware of what matters, and that awareness gives you a choice, a real choice, to either go back or to move forward. And this time, you will see it clearly. You will see the truth, not the version you imagined, not the version you hoped for, but the real version. And that truth may not be easy, but it will be clear, and clarity is what sets you free. Because once you see things clearly, you cannot unsee them. Once you understand something deeply, you cannot pretend you don't. And that is why this moment matters. This is not just about someone contacting you. This is about you finally understanding something that was unclear before, something that kept you stuck before, and now you are ready to see it, not with emotion, but with awareness, and that changes everything. Because when you respond this time, you will not respond from the past. You will respond from who you are now, and that response will define your next chapter. So when that moment comes, when that message appears, when that call happens, pause. Don't rush. Don't react immediately. Take a moment and ask yourself something simple. Is this aligned with who I am now? Does this feel right for me now? Am I responding from growth or from old emotion? And whatever answer you get, trust it, because now you can trust yourself. And that is something you did not have before. Before, you doubted yourself. You questioned your feelings. You ignored your intuition. But now, you understand it. You listen to it. You trust it. And that trust is your power. So this time, you will not lose yourself. You will not go back to who you were. You will not repeat the same story, because you are not the same person anymore. You have changed. You have grown. You have become aware. And now, you are ready. Ready to make a different choice. Ready to respond in a different way. Ready to move forward. Not with confusion, but with clarity. Not with attachment, but with understanding. And that is what this moment is really about. Not them. You. Your growth. Your awareness. Your decision. And when you make that decision, you will feel it. You will feel the shift. You will feel the difference. You will feel that something inside you has finally changed. And that is where your new chapter begins. There comes a moment when you stop questioning everything, not because you finally have all the answers, but because you no longer need them. For a long time, you were searching for clarity, trying to understand everything, trying to figure out what was right, what was wrong, trying to find meaning in every situation, especially when it came to that person. You kept thinking, why did this happen? What did it mean? What could have been different? And those questions kept you stuck, kept your mind busy, kept your emotions active. But now, something has changed. You are no longer searching the same way. You are no longer asking the same questions. You are no longer trying to force answers, because deep down, you have started to understand something. Not everything needs an explanation. Not everything needs closure in words. Some things are meant to be felt, understood, and released, and that is where you are now. You are not holding on to the past the same way. You are not replaying old memories the same way. You are not attached to the same emotions anymore. And even when you think about that person, it feels different, quieter, lighter, less intense. And that is not because the past changed. It is because you changed. You are seeing things clearly now. You are seeing the reality, not the version you imagined, not the version you hoped for, but the truth. And the truth does not hurt the same way anymore, because you are no longer resisting it. You are accepting it, and acceptance is where your power begins. Because when you accept something, you stop fighting it. You stop trying to change it. You stop giving it control over you. And that is what you have done. You have taken your power back, not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly, within yourself. And that changes everything, because now, when that person contacts you, you will not feel the same pull. You will not feel the same confusion. You will not feel the same emotional weight. Instead, you will feel clarity. You will see things as they are. And that gives you control. Control over your thoughts. Control over your emotions. Control over your response. And that is something you did not have before. Before, you were reacting. Now, you are choosing. And there is a difference. A big difference. Because reacting is automatic. But choosing requires awareness. And you have that awareness now. You are no longer controlled by what you feel. You are guided by what you understand. And that understanding keeps you steady, even when the moment feels intense, even when old emotions try to come back, even when memories try to pull you in. You stay grounded. You stay aware. You stay in control, and that is where your growth shows, not in what happens, but in how you respond to it, because life will always bring situations, people will always come and go, but your response, that is what defines you. And this time, your response will be different. This time, you will not lose yourself. You will not fall back into old patterns. You will not repeat the same cycle, because you have already learned, you have already experienced, you have already grown, and now you are ready, ready to move forward, not with confusion, but with clarity, not with attachment, but with understanding, not with emotion controlling you, but with awareness guiding you. And that is your strength now, quiet strength, real strength, the kind of strength that does not need to be shown, but is felt deep within you. So when that moment comes, you will be ready, not to react, but to choose, and that choice will change everything. There comes a final moment, a moment where everything becomes clear, not because someone explained it to you, not because you finally got all the answers, but because you feel it deep inside. You understand what this was really about. It was never just about them. It was never just about that connection. It was about you, your journey, your growth, your transformation. For a long time, you thought this story was unfinished. You thought something was missing. You thought something needed to come back to complete it. But now, you see it differently. You realize nothing was missing. Nothing was incomplete. Everything happened exactly the way it needed to bring you here, to this version of yourself, the version that understands, the version that is aware, the version that is no longer lost. And that realization changes everything. Because once you understand that, you stop waiting. You stop hoping. You stop holding on to what is already gone. And you start moving forward, not with confusion, not with doubt, but with clarity. You begin to let go, truly let go. Not forcefully, not because you have to, but because you want to. Because you understand that holding on no longer serves you, that looking back no longer helps you, that repeating the same emotions no longer feels right. And in that moment, you feel something different, something lighter, something calmer, something peaceful, a kind of peace you have not felt in a long time. And that peace is your answer, because sometimes closure does not come from others. It comes from within you. And now, you have found it. You are no longer waiting for a message. You are no longer waiting for an explanation. You are no longer waiting for someone to return, because you understand. You do not need that anymore. You have already moved forward. You have already grown beyond it. And that is your power, because real growth is not about changing your situation. It is about changing your understanding. And your understanding has changed completely. You are no longer the same person. You do not think the same way. You do not feel the same way. You do not react the same way. And that means you are ready. Ready for something new. Something better. Something aligned with who you are now. Because when you truly let go of the past, you create space. Space for new experiences. Space for new people. Space for a new chapter. And that chapter is not behind you. It is in front of you, waiting for you. Not to chase it, but to step into it. And now, you are ready to step into it. Without fear, without doubt, without hesitation. Because you trust yourself now. You trust your decisions. You trust your path. Even when it is not fully clear, you trust that you are moving forward. And that is enough. So whatever happens next, whether that person contacts you or not, whether something changes or not, it does not define you anymore, because you are no longer waiting. You are moving. You are growing. You are becoming. And that is where your real story begins.